If you had the opportunity to live in a children's wonderland, would you choose anywhere else? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours. Today, we've got double the trouble with two entertaining comedians joining me. This first lady had her passion for stardom ignited at a young age. However, growing up in a family of 8 siblings, she didn't often get the chance to be heard amongst all the noise, right? Her solution was to become louder and funnier the older she got, and man, did she get that right. Today, she is considered one of the most loved powerhouses in South African comedy. She's shown off her acting chops by gracing our screens as the popular Spoazi on Isibaya. She is larger than life, a force to be reckoned with. Please welcome the queen of Zulu comedy and comedy in general, Celest Ntuli.
Must get the job. Yes, sir. I feel like I'm going to walk into the policy conference right now, the way you just said. Yeah.
And be like, listen, guys, let's talk about these policies. Let us talk about these policies.
It's so important. Thanks.
You are important. And here's the thing. I feel like sometimes you deny yourself that honor.
You know what? I'm not used to it. Let me tell you something. Even I just changed, someone laughed because I just changed my Twitter handle.
To what?
To Celest Ntuli, because for me it was Pele's Mampele. You know, I didn't know the road was going to be like this. Let me tell you something.
Because if I'm looking for Celest Ntuli, I'm not looking for Pele, guys.
People really, yeah, you see, when I'm Mampele, but me now that's what I used. I was like, oh, okay. It took Ozam, Big Sharp, and then now I read. So basically, I think not because I deny myself.
Yeah.
I'm surprised all the time. I expect it, but not this way sometimes, you know, because I think that's another thing. My journey has not been that one that is calculated. It has been more spiritual intervention more than anything. I'm sure you know how I met you. I meet so many people like that.
Literally, your energy meets you.
I don't really have usually first agent I had is because I walked it with you within an office because I was like, oh, okay, now we're here. You see, but that's what has always happened. So I think maybe I don't get the time to take it all in. And again, I feel like this is me. So, I'm too relaxed maybe for this. I don't know.
But then there reaches a point, and your career has reached that point where you have to.
I've realized, no.
You have to make some calculated decisions,
I've started now. I used to be like, until now, a couple of times people are chasing you at the mall. You're like, okay, it's not really what I think. Like literally a day before yesterday, I had to buy my, because my laptop crashed. I had to go and buy a laptop. You know how long it takes a long time to buy those gadgets. So I was at the mall looking for this and the other. Oh, now the pouch. I promise you, I had to get out. I still don't have the cover for my laptop because
you had to
I ran out to the parking lot because I was like, I don't think I have the energy.
Celeste, no, I just want
and it's 3 women like, hey, that's Celeste. And I said, Celeste. And I had, I'm like, what are they really coming? So, yes, there are things that really tells me now that, wow, yeah, things have, like my shows also humble me when I see literally selling out at 1,200 seats. I'm like, these people took a bath, a shower, whatever, they got dressed to come here and see me. It humbles you, and you realize how much you've worked, because that's another thing. You can have your social numbers, but the competitive numbers are the ones that tells you that
they don't lie.
Yeah, they don't lie. They don't lie.
So let's go back to like you, and I love the fact that you're like, guys, me, I'm a rural girl here.
I'm so rural.
I grew up in the rural areas. I don't know any other way. I want to go back there because I like to do full circles, because there's things that were happening when you're in the rurals that make you who you are now, and they make sense now.
Exactly, and I'm sure you'll understand. Yeah,
I'm
sure people know that you are so connected with your rural all the time, and that's exactly what makes you you. It's not what we know you for here in Joburg and the lights.
Yeah.
What makes Anele is that in touch of home. That
Yeah.
So that's, for me, that's how I grew up. And family of 8 in rural areas. And guys, I always tell rural areas are like suburbs, eh?
How so?
You
How? Tell us.
chill. There's no noise. Like, guys, it's just that.
You are eating organic chicken.
Thank you.
Because it was running just 5 minutes
Thank
ago,
you. So
and now it's on your plate.
Tell me that is not urban lifestyle.
You are eating vegetables that were grown in the ground
It's
outside
the
your window.
burbs, babe. It's the burbs. Proper. So I'm still in touch with that. When I go home, I still want to just chill, morning kukugama, and just talk to the auntie. And I love the fact that people in my area, my village, they really don't. It's not. They don't have that fan-ish type of thing.
Yeah.
They still see a human being. They still see
Yeah.
a person. My aunt will go, "Hey, Nasis, do las caspes." And for me,
In walks Celeste.
exactly.
Speaking of that, you basically grew up like me because
Yeah.
you were the only fat kid in your house and I was the only fat kid in my house. Out of 8 siblings,
Yeah.
okay, at least you could like blend in because there was 8. There were 4 of us, and I was the
No,
only
but I
fat
also
one.
have like 4 sisters because you don't count the guys. The guys don't matter that much because they don't really get judged with weight and stuff.
Okay.
But like you have 4. You have 4 sisters. There's 4 of us as sisters. But I think they didn't. I always tell people this. My sisters are thin. We never had issues. They never had issues with me being big. In actual fact, whenever I look now, stop lie, man.
Didn't you wish like when they're like wearing like hot
Of
pants
course. Listen, guys.
to the beach or like they're wearing bikinis, you
We
wearing
from
a t-shirt
KZN.
over your swimming costume?
Do you have a swimming costume? Because it's a short.
A Billabong short. That's your life. Didn't you ever wish like
No.
my
It's
gosh.
obviously growing up, you do. But when you grow up, because people say that, you know, when you trace what has made you think this was not good about you or the weight was a problem, if you listen properly, it's never what you say about yourself. It's what other people say.
And even then, it's never like immediate family. It's either like a distant aunt
Exactly.
or some random neighbor.
Your families, but my dad was frank and very shrewd. My dad was like, spade to spade. You know, he would tell me like, that's your 3rd trip to the kitchen. I'm
hope
still
you wash the
okay.
dishes.
I'm still okay. That's too much drama. Just kancane. And I guess I like it now. He taught me whatever people said outside, for me, really, it was secondary. Because my dad had told me what it is and why.
And also, you know your dad loves you.
Oh,
So everything he's saying is coming from a place
and
of
he
love.
was like that with everyone else. You know, we never knew our dad loved us, but we knew, you know, because he was hardcore like that. You
Yeah.
were like, hey, what's wrong with this guy?
But do you not think you get your humor from him?
I'm so him. And that's he passed away, may his soul rest in peace last year. And I always tell people this story. When I asked him, so how are you doing? Because he went back home where we used to stay. How are things now? Like, yeah, it's like everywhere else in the world. It's the witches and the people. Just like that. Exactly. And them street girls. And literally, that was him. That was it. This is how he's telling me, this is how he's coping with this place. Just like any other place in the world, these are 2 issues we're dealing with.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what?
Be at the Michelangelo Towers. You can be in the rural areas in
Something
KwaZulu-Natal.
wrong, huh?
There's witches and there's prostitutes. Sorry about it. Sorry about
No,
it.
listen, every time I run into a problem, like, is this a witch area?
But now, because like my mom passed away, there's something you learn about yourself only once they've passed away, right?
Yes, it's
insane. What was the first thing that came to you after your dad passed you, and it just taught you something about yourself, taught you something about what he'd been teaching you?
Funny enough, I got the chance to meet him and to talk to him before he passed away because he was ill. And then I had a chance to go home. When I came back, he passed on. But he said to me, he gave me nice, like little lines. He didn't say much. But for me, it said, you know me. I didn't know that he used to cut out the pictures and the what and my articles. He knew me. He's never been on my shows. But he said to me, you know what? I think you have to learn balance. Don't be too nice. Don't be too aggro, because you are too nice naturally. And where you are, you know, and the way you do things. He said things and how I do things and how I attack my business. I was like, this guy, I don't even talk to him every day. But for me, it consoled me. Said, wow, all the time you think your parent doesn't know anything about you, or you think maybe they're not. Because we're used to that, you know, and he said a few lines.
Thinking that,
exactly,
you know, our parents are
distant.
so detached from us. They've never been to my show. They've never been to my netball game. But meanwhile, he knows exactly how many goals you scored.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he knows how you attack things. And he says, you like me in your art, but I like the way you do things. And for me, it was wow. Everything just went, you know what, we are fine. Because I think, to sum it all up, you just want your people to tell you that you matter, they love you.
I see you. Listen, we know that you love her on Isibaya as well as her comedy shows, so stick around for more because we continue this amazing conversation with Celeste. We'll be right back. Doesn't it warm your heart when you're on stage? No, doesn't it warm your heart when you're on stage and a man rolls down on the floor?
That hypes you up. That people that laugh more are the ones that have become your hype men on the show. They're like, yeah, you know you're hitting hard and you know people are enjoying the show. And for me, it's always a risk because you listen to the stuff that I talk about. I would think maybe girls would laugh more. And then you find a guy laughs more and understands, even though he doesn't wear the underwear, but he gets it.
He gets it.
You know,
he gets it. And it's something he could never raise to his woman because it's like, when then where are you with panties when?
This other lady said to me after the show, you're taking our secret out. Just like that.
There, because that's our stangs, you know. You know stangs, it takes you like 3 minutes to get into them just so you can bring.
But once you're in them, we have again. That's the whole point.
Do you struggle to do comedy if your love interest is in the...
Hey, story. I did the show, killing it. The next thing I see my ex. And guess what? I was telling a story that he was involved. So I made sure he doesn't see me after the show.
You left,
but he did.
Using the back door.
Yeah. But people don't mind. I did a story about my guy asking me out, saying a tipple. And he listened and he laughed. He didn't say much, you know. The English guy said, because he said to me, can we have a tipple? I was so confused.
A tipple?
What is a tipple?
Oh, can we go for tea?
Thank you. That was it.
Oh, is that how he approached you?
God, so I didn't know how to answer. I'm like, Google? 40 Rand High School, you're not working now.
I remember Celeste always says, her high school, they didn't, what? What's that word you said you guys didn't learn?
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you now, why have I forgotten it?
Boggles my mind.
It boggles my mind, yes. She was like, boggles my mind, boggles. We didn't learn that in my high school. My high school was 40 Rand a year. We didn't get to boggles. So you Google, what is a tipple?
Yeah, I was like, okay. I told the story, of course it was on DJ Fresh Show. He listened to the podcast, he laughed. So I say sometimes they do, really people don't care much. You see, jokes are all, that's why there's a difference between roasting and doing comedy. In my comedy, I don't roast much.
Yeah. You tell real stories.
Yeah, I don't want to go for people. I feel like you are there, just laugh. I'm gonna do my thing. Yeah. Of course, if there's people heckling me, you're gonna get it. But but I don't go for people. I don't go for audience. That's not my style. So I think even if there's someone listening, because I talk about my family a lot on my shows. I talk about my sisters. They listen, they laugh because they know where it comes from. It really is the intention.
Yeah. There's
always that intention thing.
You know, I find your comedy to be the most worldly. And now, when I say worldly, people will be like, oh, it means you travel so much, so you speak about the world.
Oh, no.
No. When I say worldly, I mean that you are teaching the world about us.
You see, honesty. Lois Sokola said comedy is a personality sport. It's honesty. And I like it when I see it from other comedians and I say, okay, I'm doing it well. I'm not wrong. I read Trevor's book. I'm like, okay, I relate with how his stories resonate with him because they are coming from the honest space. You know, you can't tell a story when you're going to be starring all the time.
Of course.
Then
you have to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pay it all, and then it becomes a nice thing that it always comes from a good space, and it's always the intention is to make people laugh.
So you say initially your comedy started when you were a call center agent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when, okay, so what was, because I know all call center agents, they must have an opening line.
Yeah.
Good afternoon,
Oh, I
welcome.
was horrible. I was good in terms of languages, because, you know, we had to have so many languages.
Okay.
But they didn't ask Indian people to have so many languages. That was my gripe. Because all of us were interviewed, how many languages you speak? You say English and Zulu, and then that's all. I say, I Xhosa. We always listen Xhosa. No, we don't know. It's just, I mean,
it's nice to say you know
It's the
Xhosa.
same. I mean, it's the same.
Because I mean,
it's the same until you go to Mthatha. It's not the same.
Then you're like, what is going? No, do you know what it is? I found with people in Xhosa is that people think they know it because they just say what they're gonna say, and then they throw in sana at the end.
You have those phrases that become popular in Xhosa culture, and then all of us we feel like I can do this most.
I mean,
simple.
I can say it's snaky and divided.
It's simple.
I know this, Xhosa. So when did you then translate? Because you understand you're funny and you grew up in a family where you guys are always laughing.
Yeah.
And then you're a call center agent and you understand you can ease people's lives and problems because you make them laugh.
I used to do it because I was a party animal. For me, I was socializing. I didn't think of it as a comedy. All I know, when I'm around people, we're going to talk, we're going to laugh. I used to get a lot of invitations because of my mouth. I'm fit to get bored among echoes. You know? So I started like that. And I saw someone gave me a DVD, Kings of Comedy with
Bernie Mac
and all of that.
Harvey,
And Richard Pryor. And I always say I'm so grateful for that person because those were the first comedy shows I've ever watched.
Why did they give you the comedy?
It was actually my friend's boyfriend who gave us those DVDs, and they landed in our space, and I just watched them. Literally, it was not even for me. It was my friend, her boyfriend gave it to her, and then I was like, oh, okay, it was, and I was like, I do this thing when I'm drunk.
Whilst you're watching it, do you realize when the credits are rolling or halfway or at the, you're like, hey man, but I'm Richard Pryor.
I realized on Richard Pryor, actually, I even know the joke that killed me when he was talking about, you know, black men and going to the safari and the snake, and in comparison to what white people do and the snake, it was the funniest thing.
Okay.
And for me, I just had to put the clothes on. It was like, I talk these things, you know, because whenever people like me, they like me because I'm naturally, I'm not a gossiping person. I'm horrible with those. Don't tell me a story because I'm just going to be making a joke the next day.
And they're like, no, but I told you that in confidence.
You must tell me that you must keep quiet.
You're like, oh.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I could do this, but I didn't know. And then I think that's why I say that was the beginning of my journey, because literally a couple of weeks after I've seen those DVDs, a friend of mine, I was walking around downtown in Durban, and I saw a poster, comedy poster, and I wanted to do this thing. I'm like, I know these guys. I called up and Stay's like, I've been looking for you. Can you do this? I'm like, yeah. We go to the church. That was my first gig.
A church?
Yeah, at the Marquee. Didn't know. I rock up with shorts and all stars.
Hallelujah.
And they told me everything that I shouldn't say. Like literally, I feel like for the first gig, I got a corporate gig, Jesus corporate gig, because they told me,
don't say this. Don't
religion,
say that.
you're out. Sex, you're out. Politics, you're out. And then I was left I was left talking about me. You know, that was the only subject I could talk about, and I was free. And it worked, because I remember that my first jokes, I was talking about how, because there's 8 of us in my family, how when you get stuff from Pep.
Go ahead, Pep. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I can see you work for a broadcast. You're like, oh, advertising. I
don't know. I don't know if they're going to attack me. So, you know, I spoke about that and cheap clothes, how it feels when when you're growing up in the family where we're not poor in my house, but we're not fashionable and in things and whatnot, but we're not poor. I won't say we're poor because we eat, but of course we struggle like normal family.
Yeah.
So I did those jokes about us being 8 and me being a big one. They laughed. I was like, okay, cool, this thing works. Got my 500 rand, I went, Baba.
Hallelujah.
And I always tell comedians, I never got a free gig. For the first gig I got paid, so pay me.
None of this stuff like you're doing things for exposure.
No.
Exposure what? Listen, keep your tweets coming. Hashtag Real Talk with Anele. We'll have more with Mampele, Celest Ntuli after the break. And welcome back to Real Talk. Our guest today, Celest Ntuli, she's come a long way since the days when she used to do comedy shows on the weekends in Durban. You heard about the church one. She excited viewers with regular appearances on hit shows such as Late Night News with Lois Ogola, as well as the Bantu Hour. In 2016, she joined other big acts as part of the Kings and Queens of Comedy Festival, and she has several one-woman shows under her belt, including her latest one, which goes on tour starting on the 29th of July. Tickets are a CompuTicket. It's called Black Tax. You're never gonna change the name of your one-woman show, or is this just like a series of things?
No. This one, it's crazy how it has penned. I started this tour thinking I can do this. I didn't realize how big it became, and I haven't been in East London. People are asking it in Bloemfontein. It was, then it became too much for me.
Botswana.
So yeah, actually yes. But because I had no means of me planning it while I was on set, acting and doing other stuff, so I was like, okay, this year I'm doing it proper because I'm recording the one in the 5th of August in Joburg, here at Superstar. And then the rest I'm just continuing because people are asking for it, literally.
Do you do it around your birthday month on purpose? Because every time you've done a one-woman show...
I used to. You know how it started? When I first time I joined So You Think You Find It back in 2009, it was in August. And the year before, I didn't do So You Think You Find It because I had visited my sister in Paris. And I said to myself, then that was in August. And I said to myself, you know what, in August I'm going to do... And I remember I wrote this in one of my journals, that every month, every August, I'm doing myself something special. And it has been like that. I think maybe it's not even a planning thing now.
And it's there's always such an aura and a spirit around your one-woman shows. Because it's comedy, yes, but... You're quite insightful and forward-thinking and kind of telling people where we should be going with life.
I think that's my interest.
Is that your purpose?
Yeah, again, yes, it's the purpose and the calling thing. I wanted to be a social worker. I didn't like the stories. They were too somber for me. Every time I was like, now I'm going to cry every day. And I wanted to be a cop. There was no money. There's only a gun. I was like, okay, this is not for me as well. And nurse is too much. My mom is a nurse. You see, but I realized at the core of things, I've always been a caretaker, naturally.
Yes.
And so I feel that I gravitate towards those stories that touches everyone. You know, I don't really go for parliamentary stories or for celebrity stories. I go for stories that will affect anyone, whether you're in parliament, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're not, whether you're just a 9-to-5 person, whether you're a businessman, because everyone is affected by black tax.
Yeah.
Whether you do have, even yourself, all of you in your family can be right, but there's someone somewhere.
The next cousin, guys, lives in a shack.
Exactly, and
the
you
next
can't
cousin
give
lives
that
in a
cousin
shack.
like that.
Yeah.
If a cousin is asking for a merely 2,000 rand that you can afford, but it can be, if it's 2,000 rand every month, every year.
Or if it's 2,000 rand 4 times a week from 4 cousins.
Then it becomes a problem.
Rand.
Exactly, then it becomes a thing that you say, okay, I'm really paying black tax. And it's funny how my shows... that you say I'm forward-thinking. I don't even think I'm forward-thinking. When I did Home Affairs, there were so many issues about South African politics domestically and all of those things. I did black tax, there's junk status, and people are thinking it's because I did for that. No. I started the show last year because I was on set and I couldn't do so many things. I couldn't even afford to shoot it. So now I was like, okay, fine, let me shoot it this year. So that's why this year, and the thing is, I had to now move from the Lyric Theatre to the Silver Star.
Yes.
Because, you know, because the bigger venue.
Yes, numbers.
And the numbers, yeah. And to work, because last year I had 2 sold-out shows. That means I performed 2 nights. But if I get a bigger venue, I perform once.
And then you record it.
And then I record it, and then, yeah. If it sells out, though, I might open at the Lyric, because people have been asking.
So after 5 years on Isibaya, you said cheers.
I'm taking a break for now because at one, I didn't realize. I was really saying cheers, but I didn't realize people like that character that much.
We love it.
I was so shocked. I promise you, I was so, for me, it was a business decision that had anything to do with anyone. Until the journalist and the channel, and I was like, okay, wait. I asked my mom, I'm like, I want to leave. My mom says, well, if you leave, I don't know where I'm going to see you. You're not gonna be successful. This is the wrong move. I'm like, no, it's not about you. But I realized how much they're personal. Even at my house, they couldn't understand. I said, it's me. It's not the character, it's me now. They say, no, but you don't understand how much. And I think the reason why the character resonates to everyone, you have that auntie. In your house. Everyone has that spokazi auntie in their house.
It's so funny. My Agnes, Keketso Simoko, she was here last week.
Oh, yes.
And during the break, her and I were talking about how she's like, my character resonates with, everyone's got a black woman aunt like that, much like Celeste in Isibai.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So, you know, you are the staple person.
I didn't know. A 5-year-old, the age, like, I truly didn't know. And I knock off because I'm not only an actress, I'm a comedian. So I knock off. I'll get off work, and for me, I think, okay, Spokas is there. When I walk around, I'm Celeste, a comedian. And when people meet me, I always assume they're all about comedy. But no,
they're coming to
now they don't even see me, quite honestly. They say, wow, gan to French country. Yeah, then the thing doesn't stop. And I think because Aspire spoke so much to the South African audience with polygamous relationships, and I like the fact that for me, I really, I'm a Mchendevu, I'm a spinster, what they say.
A bachelorette. Bachelorette, honey. You know, white people have such a nice way of saying
it.
Black people, the way they tell us we're not married.
So I had to think, because I've never been married, I've never, lived with a guy, I don't have kids. I have to think and understand what makes a woman to be in a polygamous relationship, and with no judgments, eh? Because sometimes when we think, so that you can understand the character. And I got to understand her, and I think that's a thing. It's insane. So yes, I'm taking a break to do this tour. We're still gonna talk with the channel, because I didn't know.
I really didn't know. You must write down an amount. When serious negotiations, you don't talk, Baba. You don't talk. You just write down the amount there. And then you slide it across, and you go, that's my fee. That's my fee. Leave it. Stop picking up things, man. I'm telling you.
How about this number here?
But then you have to...
And the thing is, are you comfortable?
No. And you must do it in a place where there's a window, where you can slide and then you look outside. Chin up. And then don't... Because if you give eyes, then you're going to be like, okay, fine. What Namaline, how much do you have? But if you just slide across and you look out the window... I'm telling you now.
Well, I'm going to do that.
Trust me.
Watch out.
Watch Celeste in a Ferrari. Listen, Celeste will be back a little later in the show. We're going to have a bit of fun with her. After the break, she'll be joining us, at the end. But right now, let's get an idea of what musical comedy is with the fantastic Tracy-Lee Oliver.
So I've got this background of doing musical theater, and I played a little role in this musical called Dreamgirls, and I played the role of Dina Jones. So I always thought, like, you know what if Dina was actually from the Cape Flats? She was a colored girl working in a laundromat, and she's being bombarded by her boyfriend to constantly be washing. He's washing, to like do his laundry. That I was just thinking about that. And then there was a song in the musical, and I thought this was what the song would sound like if this was happening in a laundromat on the Cape Flats. So, you used all my Lux and all my lotion. Now you wanna hang your clothes out on the line. Omo and Stay Soft is expensive, my baby. And now you're telling me you can't even contribute a dime. I've got one line only, one washing line only. That's all I have to spare. One line only, hang your underbrookie over the chair. I've got one line only, one washing line only. Pick your stuff off the floor. If you won't help me, boy, don't come around here no more. One washing line only. And that's how it went.
This is Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours. Speaking of stages, my next guest has had a lot of experience on them. Born and raised in Grabo in the Western Cape, she started singing at the age of 3. She's participated in a string of musical productions, including her portrayal of Dina Jones in Dream Girls. She was Beyonce, which she was nominated for, but in 2014, she started flexing her comedic muscle when she joined the likes of Goliath and Goliath. You have to give a round of applause and a big welcome to Tracy-Lee Oliver.
Thank you.
Is Oliver or Olivier?
No, it's Oliver. You got it right the first
okay.
time. Thank you. One of the few people who get it right.
Because I'm just like, I've never heard you say
I think
Olivier.
my family is just like rejoicing right now that you actually got it right.
So Grabo
and Grabo is going boss right now. Let me
So all
tell
20
you.
people in Grabo.
Yes, all 20 people in Grabo. There's a lot more than 20 people in Grabo. Let me tell you, it's a small space, but there's a
Are
lot
you
of people.
the most famous person to come out of Grabo?
No,
No, girl.
no.
Who is?
The girl, Karen Korki, who won Idols.
No. So therefore you are the most famous. Here's what I always say about you and your career. And now it can either be a bad thing or a good thing.
Yeah.
You tell me. Every time people see you on a stage, they feel like it's the first time they've seen you,
Yes.
right? They're like, where has she been? She's amazing. Her voice is amazing, whatever you do. And then you come and you say, guys, but I was on Project Fame, which was, what, 10 years ago?
Yes.
Then you say, I was on Africans Idols. You've done so many things, but people don't ever link back to think that it's you.
I've got a forgettable face, I think.
Or a fresh one where you
Or a
just ever
one,
fresh.
yes. I think it's a curse and a blessing at the same time, but I really, I like the fact when people are surprised, because I love, my mom will tell you, whenever I go home, I hardly ever tell her that I'm coming home. I'd hardly ever tell my family when I'm coming home because I like surprising people.
Okay.
I love the element of surprise. Okay. And when people say, what, but where have you? And then I start like naming and start pulling out the CV and the resume and be like, oh, but you know what? I did Project Fame and I did this and Afrikaans Idols and you name it and you name it and you name it. Dream Girls.
Which was massive.
Yeah, that was quite massive. Then people are like, oh, then they put 2 and 2 together. But I don't mind it. I really don't.
Because it means that in 20, 30 years' time, you're still going to be having...
I'm still going to be fresh-faced.
Look.
People are not going to get tired of me. Is that what you're saying?
Never,
Thank
babe,
you.
never.
I'll take it and receive it.
And
Thank you.
initially it can look like a bit of a curse because you're just like,
Yes.
when is my PR ever going to, go up?
Yeah.
But it just means you evergreen.
Yeah. But I don't ever, but I never ever entered this industry to become famous. Just making people happy, performing, making people laugh, being on stage, entertaining people, like making them forget about their lives if it's not so lekker for like 2 or 3 minutes or if it's an hour for a show or whatever. That is that's my goal. I want you to come and enjoy and just forget about whatever it is that's happening.
So, I mean, you've shared stages because now you are like a full-blown comedian, kings of comedy. Well, do you know, I know.
I'm so baby.
I know when, because there is no test that you write to say, okay, now you've passed, now you're a comedian, right?
Yeah,
you can do one show and then you can call yourself a comedian.
Yeah.
So I know that anxiety of not knowing when do you start calling yourself a comedian.
Yeah.
But the stages you're on now, it's
Yes.
a different kind of comedy, but it's
It
still
is.
your own, right?
It is, yeah.
How did you get into that?
Okay, I'm going to try and make the story as short as I can.
Oh,
so
man.
I was performing at Carnival City, doing a normal cabaret show. And Jason Goliath sees me at the show. And I recognize him from an ad that he was in.
Yeah.
And I'm a very forward person. Like if I'd seen you before, I'll be like, hey, don't I know you? Hey, I seen you on TV. Like that's the kind of person I am. And I'm like, hey man, I saw you in that ad. Oh my word, it's so nice to meet you. And I said, I waved to him the first time, Fera who? That's what I said, because I thought he was from Cape Town.
Okay.
But he from Eldos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
no,
branch.
it's not a bad butt, but I'm just saying, like, I just thought, like, because,
No, it's another branch.
So long story short, he invites me to his comedy show at another comedy club.
Aware Wednesdays, was it?
Our Wednesdays, yes, it was
Wednesdays,
back
yeah.
in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my word, that was like my first.
What a
That
joy.
was my first time on stage at an Wednesday, and
So wait, when he invited you, was he inviting you on stage or just to come watch? And
No,
then-
no, no. He invites me to come and watch him perform.
Okay.
And we get to talking. And he's like, hey, but you know what? You actually have a great sense of humor. You're actually really funny. But then you have got the voice thing like, maybe we should do something where you sing funny things. And I was like,
You're onto something.
yeah. I was feeling it because the thing is, since I was a child, I was always imitating people. And I was always imitating situations. And I was always just that child with a photographic memory where I could just like, I could listen to someone talk, and then within 5, 6, 7 minutes, I could imitate them. And I was always that child. And I thought to myself, but this is a great idea. So we got together, wrote my first parody, and my first time on stage, I thought I was going to throw up. I thought I was going to pass out.
But you've been
You know
on
when you
stage-
start seeing the stars, and it gets all like, your vision gets like this, and it's like, I was like, oh, okay, what have I
am
let
I
myself,
doing?
what am I doing?
Can we start a fire?
But when that laugh came, Anele, oh my word. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about my first time. Like, it was so amazing, and it felt like, wait, this home.
Because
Like
for
that.
you as well, you know, people who are speaking their comedy can come out and be immediately funny.
Yes.
For you, you're like singing 3 lines and you're dragging it out, and people are looking at you like, "Uthini nalo?" You know. And then you get into that punchline.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So do you not ever get anxiety about the way?
Oh, listen, but I mean, imagine you have to get up on stage and you are pressured to make people laugh. That is the worst. I think that is probably the worst pressure ever. Comedy is not for
Sissies.
for sissies.
Yeah.
I was going to say another word. Sorry, I was just-
That's why I jumped
remember
in.
it's live, it's, yeah. Anyway, national television, don't say anything. Okay. But, I mean, that pressure, that kind of pressure is just, it's insane. And the fact that comedians are messed up people.
Yeah.
Because we subject ourselves to that pressure. And, I mean, where's the wood here? I haven't died yet on stage, so...
Touch
You know,
wood.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen it happen, unfortunately, and it's like, it's not nice.
But because you've been on stage for so long in these big productions as an actress and as a singer, what does the comedic side of music, which you are literally, it's a part that you created, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what, I'm just gonna exist here and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
How does it make the rest of your performance side better?
I think the part of me already singing and already having that kind of stage experience, I think that prepared me to this moment in my life now where I just like talking. I mean, and I just like making people laugh, and that is just like, it's just the thing that's in me that I just love so much, and the fact that I can marry the two is just a bonus. It's such a great bonus.
Do you ever want to write music, release your own thing, do tours? Do you know what I'm saying? Be like a Zahara, you know, or a Lira, or a Tansa Mazwai. Like,
Or
are we?
Beyonce.
Oh, look, look.
that the
When it
world
comes to Beyonce imitators, you quite close there. And you know I'm judgmental when it comes
Oh
to
yes,
that.
because this is only the biggest. You are just the biggest.
I'm just like, watch your stuff.
And
watch-
you that kind of fan that's like, that'll fight. I'll fight
cut you.
somebody.
I'll cut you.
You're ready to fight. Don't even say something about B. No, I don't know. I think what my niche is, or my path is, like you just said now, is creating my own space in the sense of what does Tracy do? Like when people do talk about me, or people do mention my name, or people do see a picture of me, and eventually put 2 and 2 together who I am.
That's the girl who did that.
Yeah, I want them to know me for being an entertainer. And however that presents itself, that's fine by me. I want to be on stage entertaining people, whether it be singing, whether it be acting, whether it be doing my comedy, but I want to really combine the 3 because I don't want to be boxed, man.
Yeah.
I think boxing people is so like,
1993.
Yeah, exactly. That exact year was
Yeah.
1993, right?
That year. We're like, you are there. Listen, guys, next year we're all free, but just in case you're wondering, this is who you are, and
Yes,
this is who
exactly.
you are. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be boxed. I just want to be an entertainer
Okay.
who
Well,
happens to have a nice voice and who happens to be funny. Do you know what I mean?
and who happens to just never pick up weight. It's so annoying.
No, let me tell. Listen, this is my mama. I don't have no credit to this. This is my G. This is my mommy. This is. Hello,
Listen,
mommy. She's watching right now.
You over there, you. Don't forget to enter our weekly competition. You can win yourself a 5,000 Rands e-gift card. It's time for one last session with my guest today. Celest Ntuli will be back. Tracy-Lee Oliver stays. We will be back after this break. And welcome back to Real Talk with me, Anele. We have had a lot of fun today, but it's only going to get better for this last section. Celest Ntuli kicking off her one-woman show on the 5th of, is it August?
29th of August.
No, man. Yes.
5th of
Kicking off
August
her
this year.
5th one-woman show. That's what I mean. On the 29th of August. Standard great numbers. Sorry, okay? Tracy-Lee Oliver, who's on the lineup for Kings and Queens. The event is coming up and taking place on the 21st of July. Tickets for both of the events are available at CompuTicket. Right now, we're going to play a game.
Oh.
I don't know what's here, right?
Okay.
These are songs which then I will present
gosh.
to you.
Ooh.
But your eyes. But you guys must hum them in harmony.
Okay.
Okay.
At which point Celeste is like, oh, Tracy can hum. And yeah,
No,
I'm just-
humming is fine because I've got a very wide voice. So it's
okay, you in. So 3, 2, 1. Is it a quieter sound? All the single ladies.
Kusam.
Wololo. All the single ladies.
Okay.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Hi, Bo. And yes.
Go be sick on. Go be sick on.
Must come with me to the
Oh,
things.
please
Yeah.
invite me.
Work. AKA paparazzi wanna miss it, the happy home. The world is yours.
Champion. I don't know if it's the one.
Politics champion, so I don't know.
I'm sorry, guys. You're having the wrong song.
Oh, sorry.
Take it away, Tracy.
Pause. Next.
Next.
No, guys.
Hi, Bo. I don't know,
Maskandi. Van Damme.
No.
Gizombulala, China, Sabika.
Let me give you a clip.
Horses.
But-
Yeah, she himself. Yeah.
Yeah. At least you got the action. Oh.
Because I'm happy, Pharrell, happy.
Yeah. I don't know this one properly. Oh.
Telephone.
Oh.
Is it Orkant or Homo?
Orkant. Drake.
Hotline blend.
It
Wow.
shows, yeah,
Okay, look,
people-
I think we got 7 out of 8.
Yes.
Okay, listen.
That's why I have a band now. I can't sing. I'm joking.
You have a oh, on your stage.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
I
but
know.
it's not for me to sing.
But you know what it is. And here's the thing. I want to know this. How do you make sure that the last show is a stepping stone for the next one?
Last year, I felt so bad. I wish I recorded one night. I recorded one night. The one that I didn't record wasn't same.
Yes,
So now,
Isn't that Murphy's Law though? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the first time trying the band thing, and this year I'm gonna do it better. I'm gonna have a little bit of play with them. So that's the. There is that pressure to put the show better than the last one. That I know.
Because I gather, and both of you experienced this, you have a lot of repeat offenders, right? People who came to watch it the last time, then they had so much fun, and then they bring 5 more of their friends.
Yes.
But this is the crazy thing about comedy. It's not like music. I had 2 nights. The second night, there are jokes I didn't do. This guy came up to him and says, now you're messing with my flow. I brought these people for this particular joke you didn't say. Please say it.
It's like
Because
they
now
want
I
to
was
see
trying to
a
say it.
singer
That's why I bought these
who has a
tickets.
repertoire.
Now, yesterday,
Yeah.
you said it so nicely. Today, you omitted completely. Please. He was waiting for me to say the joke because he brought people. I didn't say the joke.
Yeah.
And now, you see, that's the thing. You never know whether they want
yeah,
it
exactly,
or they don't want it.
exactly.
But then equally with you, because it's musical comedy, do you
Yes.
have the pressure to keep things the same every night? Because if I go to a Beyonce concert in Scotland and I go to one in New York, please can I just have the carbon
you
copy?
Just want the set list and you want the
Yeah.
With music, it can work.
With
That's-
music, it can work. With me, it can work. I usually have like a set, like a set list, right? But I mean, in between, I'm still talking and I'm still creating segues for these songs. I still need people to kind of like understand, oh, why is she bursting out in song right now? Because there needs to be sometimes those segues can change, but I mean, the parodies stay the same. So I feel like maybe that's a little easy on my part. But for you, you have more leeway.
And sometimes the whole thing is that the joke grows.
There we go. True.
Literally.
And that's the point of
you come out, you're like, now it's funnier. I was forgetting this line. This is the first time they laugh like this. Now you make it better. But for me, I because I've gotten used to doing my one-man shows. What I do, I work towards the one-woman show, and then once that is done, because the material I'm doing now, I started last year around. No, the other year around November, October. After I've done the Home Affairs, now it's a new material.
Okay.
Then once I'm done with this tour, yes, of course, if I perform here and there, I might do some jokes, but then I start creating for the next tour.
All right, so quickly, we've got 40 seconds.
Yes.
So you've got 10 seconds each. What's the biggest stage you still want to be on?
For me, Apollo in London and Hollywood, of course.
Apollo in London and Hollywood. Biggest stage you still want to be on?
Just because Wembley Stadium?
Wembley. Yeah. Hey.
Why
These
not?
ladies have got big dreams. You know what? From your mouth to the universe.
yes.
Thank you. We
To the
receive it. Thank you
universe.
very
No,
much.
in London, I'm coming. Relax.
Yay!
They'll be there. Thank you so much for being part of the fun today. We will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. live as always. Remember, these ladies are out there. 21st of July for Tracy, 29th of July for Celeste. Go out and support them. Tickets at Copy Ticket. We're out of here. Bye-bye.